Hi everyone, so I'm just hopefully going to do a quick review on Colleen Hoover's Hopeless, and I'm going to try and do this without any rambling, so hopefully there'll be a little editing, but if you see a lot of editing then you know that I rambled a lot. So I'm just going to give you a background description of this book. Yeah, so it says, sometimes discovering the truth can leave you more hopeless than believing the lies. That's what Skye realises after she meets Dean Holder, a guy with a reputation that rivals her own and an uncanny ability to invoke feelings in her she's never had before. He terrifies her, captivates her, all in a span of one encounter, and something about the way he makes her feel sparks buried memories from a past she wishes could just stay buried. So this is a book about a girl called Skye who, throughout her school life, has been homeschooled by her mother, who seems like a lovely woman, and she's very protective over Skye, but she says who's very protective over Skye, but she allows Skye to go to public school for the last year. On the first day that she goes to public school, she meets this mysterious guy called Dean Holder. She meets him in a supermarket, and she realizes that for the very first time she's attracted to someone. She's actually attracted to this guy, and she doesn't even recognize the feelings that she has. She's like, oh my gosh, am I supposed to be feeling this? So that keeps her intrigued. But also this guy Dean has taken an interest in her, so he follows her, to the car park, and they have this conversation, and that's where the mystery begins. But also throughout that day and the rest of the other days, they seem to, they're like magnets, they just seem to keep bumping into each other, and so the story unfolds. So I don't know if that's enough, because I don't want to give, because I feel with this story you cannot give too much away, because if you do I'm going to be spoiling it. And there's a reason why that description in that we have is so vague. So let's just say this is what I think. You've got this story, and it, to me, I feel that it was like it was in two parts. You have Skye and Dean and their relationship, them getting to know one another, her beginning to trust him and him beginning to trust her, and because they, at first when they meet, they have such misunderstandings of each other, but then they get through that, and that is quite enjoyable. That part of that story is amazing because it's quite funny. There's some funny moments in it and some really nice moments, sweet moments in it. And then you've got the second half of this book, where you still got the relationship building, but now you're starting to get the reveal, get into what this story is about, and that's where you are on a journey. I feel like Colleen Hoover, what she's done is she has a fishing rod and she puts bait on it, and we are the fish. She literally, I feel, through her writing, she sucker punches you and then she tases you, and you are literally in shock throughout the second half of the book. That's what I can say without giving I don't know, does that mean that I'm giving too much away? But that's how I feel about this book. That's what happens to me. I felt, oh my gosh. So yeah, characters are really good, very vivid. Then you've got Skye. You think she's probably a normal teenager, but then you realise she's quite complex, and she's funny, witty. She looks into herself. She thinks, she asks herself lots of questions. She's always asking herself questions, and I like that about her. And then Dean, you've got him. He comes across really confident. He's got a temper, but yet you really like him because he's obviously patient. Anyway, I like him. He's a typical guy in the sense that he's hot-headed, but he learns to communicate. He learns to communicate to Skye. If you are considering reading this book, I feel that it is my duty to read this out to you. Due to heavy subject matter and sexual content, this book is recommended for mature readers. I am a mature reader, but I must admit that this book seems to have shocked me to a point where I'm actually still, for a change, where I'm not actually reading. I actually have to take a break. It's like, because I haven't really read a book like this before, and you don't want to feel, but you can't help but feel, because you think, oh, I don't want to feel, I don't want to feel anything because this is deep stuff. But you do, because you're invested in the characters. So yeah, this book is gonna grab you, and when it does, it doesn't actually let you go. That's it. There's no getting off. You have to stay on it, and then you read it and you feel like, oh my gosh, you've triumphed. You feel triumphant. No, I laughed a lot. Did I cry? I think I wanted to cry, but there were parts when I was like, I'm not gonna cry. And I think I felt every emotion. So what would I give this book? For the journey that this book took me on, I'm gonna give it hands down 5 stars. Definitely 5 stars. 5 stars plus. No, just 5 stars. It is brilliant, and I recommend it. If you're ready to take the journey, then read it, because it is definitely, this book is just full of treasures. So that's it, and I'll see you next time.